Hey, Firsty friends, we're going to go ahead and continue to read chapters 5 and 6 of Tonight on the Titanic. So, Jack and Annie had been going down the different hallways and was trying to find people from the third, I don't remember what they called it, the third class. So, and they were, because on a ship, the people who spend the most money, they're called the first class. They get to stay on the top of the ship. Then there's the middle class, and then there's the third class. And the third class, they are on the part of the ship where they can't get out very easily. They have to go up a couple of stairs. Kind of like think of a building, but this is actually like at the water or under the water. And so Jack and Annie are going down the hallway, and that's where the water is starting to come up from where the Titanic got hit. So the water's coming up into the ship, starting to sink it. And they're trying to find people to help them get to the lifeboats so that they won't drown and so that they can be saved. And they were starting to leave when the dog, Teddy, was barking so mad, like, no, we can't leave, kind of thing. And then they found a little boy. So chapter 5, William and Lucy. The boy wore a nightshirt, so it's kind of like a nightgown. He had red hair and freckles. He looked like he was 4 years old. He rubbed his eyes sleepily. Then he saw Teddy. "Puppy!" he said with a huge smile. He threw his arms around the little dog's neck, and Teddy licked his face. "Come back to bed, William," a voice called from inside the room. "Come out!" Annie shouted. "It's an emergency!" A moment later, the door opened wider. A girl in a long white nightgown peeked out. She had red hair and freckles, too. She was tall and thin. She looked to be about 13 or 12 years old. "Hello," she said. She put her arm around the little boy. "I'm Lucy O'Malley. This is my brother, William." "I'm Annie," said Annie, "and this is my brother, Jack." "Get your parents and tell them to come with us," said Jack. Lucy looked confused. "Our parents aren't here. They're in New York," she said. "We're on our way to them." "Listen, the Titanic hit an iceberg," said Annie. "We'll have to get you to a lifeboat." "What do you mean?" said Lucy. "The ship's sinking," said Annie. "Look!" And she pointed to the water at the end of the hall. "Oh, no!" cried Lucy. "Don't be afraid," said Jack. "Just get your coats and your life belts. We don't have much time." Lucy nodded. Then she went back inside the room and came out with their things. Lucy pulled on her coat and her life belt. Annie helped William put his on. "Let's go," said Jack. "Wait, can Teddy fit in your knapsack?" said Annie. "Try," said Jack. Annie slipped the little dog into the leather knapsack on Jack's back. Only Teddy's front paws and head stuck out. I can just imagine it. "Stay here, honey," she said, and she kissed Teddy on the nose. Jack didn't feel any extra weight on his knapsack. The little dog felt as light as air. "Wait, I forgot something," said Lucy. "We don't have time," started Jack, but Lucy rushed back into the room. "Hurry!" shouted Annie. When Lucy came out, Jack saw her slip something into her coat pocket. Then she grabbed William's hand. "Ready?" said Jack. Suddenly, he felt freezing water brush against his shoes. He looked down. The green sea water was slowly moving down the hall. "Arf, arf!" barked Teddy from Jack's pack. "Run!" cried Annie. Chapter 6. women and children first. Annie led everyone down the hall to the stairs, away from the cold sea water. As she and Lucy helped William up the stairs, Jack and Teddy followed. Halfway up the staircase, Teddy let out a yelp. A yelp. Oh, yelps are so scary to me. Right? Jack looked back. The water was creeping up the stairs, step by step. Come on, Jack! Annie shouted. Jack ran up the rest of the stairs. He and Annie led William and Lucy through the smoky room. The men were still playing cards. To the lifeboats! Annie yelled at the card players. Right now! Hurry! The men smiled at her again. Little girl, one said with a laugh, even if this ship does sink, it will take all night. There's plenty of time for everyone on board to be rescued. Indeed, many ships are on their way right now, another man said in a soothing voice. There's nothing to worry about. Not true, said Annie. Lucy turned to Jack. That doesn't sound so bad after all, she said. It is bad. Please trust me, said Jack. We have to keep going. They went outside, and the crowd on the third-class deck had grown. Many wore life belts, but no one here seemed very worried yet. Jack and Annie pulled Lucy and William along. They hurried through the crowd and down the first-class hall. They came to the end and trooped up the grand staircase. On the top deck, the Titanic was as bright as a Christmas tree. A band played lively music. With a hiss and rush of light, a rocket streamed into the sky and made a loud boom, then burst into many colored balls. Shivering and cold, William laughed and clapped. Now, it sounds like it's like fireworks. Why would they be setting off fireworks if they're in trouble? Fireworks, he said. Lucy smiled at Jack and Annie. This is a trick, isn't it? She said. You brought us to a party. No, it isn't, said Jack. Don't you remember the water downstairs? Lucy's smile faded. Women and children first, someone shouted. That's you, said Annie. Come on. She pulled Lucy and William toward the lifeboat. So, if it's not fireworks, what is it? And why are they playing music? Is it a party? I don't know, but that was the end of that chapter. I'll have to learn more later. So that was chapters 5 and 6 of Tonight on the Titanic. Bye, guys.